Hi guys, this is Skylar back again with a video. I wanted to share something with you. Recent weather has kept me inside, so it's kind of hard to keep coming up with videos and keep you entertained at the same time. It's either been giving me bad thunderstorms or temperatures so high that you wouldn't wish it on your enemies. So I wanted to do something. I recently changed my mess kit, I'd say probably about 4 months ago, and wanted to show you what I've done and some changes that I made. Now this is basically what I had before. This is a 4-quart pot that I had, and the bottom of it's a little bit black and messy. I'm probably messing up my thing here, but it actually is pretty good shape, other than some scratches and marks from whacking on the side with things. But I really thought this one was pretty good. In fact, my wife uses it a few times for cooking things in the house. But what I wanted to show was what I generally had in my kit and why, and also going to show my new setup and why I'm going with it, and hoping to get a little input on some things that you guys take out and what you have in your kits and what you do. So anyway, as you can see, it's all self-contained, does pretty good. Now I would say a lot of people, you need things like oatmeal and stuff like that, but to be honest, I skip breakfast a lot. I usually don't have it. But anyway, so you'll see a lot of this is more of a lunch or dinner type thing. So inside, as far as food is concerned, this would be something where I would be able to feed me and my wife, and I would have a lot left over. On this particular one is the 15 bean soup. It has flavoring and things like that inside, so I thought that was pretty good. I can add other things like I can cut up a little summer sausage into it or whatever. Plenty of calories, and actually a very good meal if you need to have something like that. One of the things a lot of you probably have in yours, and it is not missing from mine by any means, is noodles. And more noodles. There again, also summer sausage would come in handy for something like that. So that's actually a lot of food. I don't go too far overboard. If you needed a quick snack, I have a little bit of Spam in there. I have found that if I just put it over the open flame, and then when I start to hear it sizzle and pop, that's when I like it. I do not like it raw. If you can eat it raw, more power to you. It's just not something I can handle. That is pretty much it as far as food that I keep inside. Now, just like everybody else, I also carry snacks. So things that would be in my kit are things like the bars, of course the Cliff Bar everybody's familiar with. As I have mentioned several times in the past, my wife is type 1 diabetic. So we have to be concerned with things about her sugar and things like that. So one of the things that I always have is something, not necessarily these. I just did these to put something together for the video. These are Spree. But she has to have some sort of candy that can bring her sugar back up if it gets too low. So I do have those kinds of things. But as far as the mess kit itself, here's what I have. Just a towel that I can use for various things. I have a rag for cleanup. Sometimes, if you ever do eggs or anything like that, they can get stuck pretty bad, and you don't want to have to fight that too much. So I'll have things like the little scouring pads that I have cut up and vacuum sealed. They are much thicker than this, but because they're vacuum sealed, it shrinks them down pretty good. I do that on a lot of things as far as clothing and all. If any of you have been paying attention to any of my videos in the past, I'll do things like that just to save space. So anyway, I have those. I keep this container here. This is just Palmolive dish soap. You can use it for cleaning your hands, cleaning yourself, whatever if you have to. But it's just soap in a little squeeze container, and it has never caused a problem. The only leak I've ever had is actually a small leak that I had on my towel once. And you can see there it stained it a little bit because it sat for quite a while. Anyway, other things in there. I keep a couple of sporks. One for me, one for my wife. This is something I'm wanting to change, but this is more going to turn into a car type kit. So in this kit this is going to stay, but in my other one it'll change, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. But it's just multiple seasonings and things like that. I think I bought 3 or 4 of these one time, and you know, they work pretty well. And then lots of people have hot sauce. That's just my choice on which one I want, is the Cholula. And that's pretty much it, guys. This particular one, the baling wire will stay where I want it to stay. Does pretty good, and it's held up pretty well. Anyway, let me show you my new kit and see if I can get some input from you guys on some changes that you might make. Okay, guys. What I'm going to do now is basically show you the new kit that I have, and some of it I've used a lot, some of it I have used a little. I've only had it for a few months now, but one particular piece of it I've had for a lot longer than that, and well, let me get to it and I'll show you what I mean. 4dog.com, I think it's 4Dog Stoves is what they're mainly for, but I'll put a link down below for 4Dog. This is a 1.8 liter Morse pot, and it is awesome. You can see it's got a few burn marks and things from where I've been using it. I used it in a coffee video not long ago, and I've used it a few times, and I really like it. But you see here, I had the option, since this was the main pot for the outside, I could do the butterfly handles there. They're not hard to move, but they're firm enough where I like it. The baling wire and set up there. Oops, sorry, knocking stuff over. The way it works, and then the pour spout and everything works really well. So everything about it, this is a very, very nice little pot, and I will recommend this one to anybody. So what did I do on this one? Well, you can see it is a much smaller pot than I had before. That one is a 4-quart. This one, 1.8. So, of course, I lose quite a bit of space that way, and I can't fit the food and things like that inside, especially for this reason. This is the camp stove, or camp pot. Has the same butterfly handles on the side, but because I wanted it to nest, I could not have the baling wire set up, but it is an option for those of you that do want it. But the coolest thing about this, it drops down inside, so instantly saves me a lot of room. Now these are not very old, so these I've only used for a little while. The one that I've been using for a long time, and I always nested it on my Nalgene, which I can show you here. Walk around and get it. This is my Nalgene bottle, and it's gotten a lot of love and gotten used quite a bit. And it always nested with Snow Peak 750. And of course I could still do that like this, but then I wouldn't have my lids unless I had them separate. But the 750 fits down inside perfectly, and for the space that I do have, it's not going to rattle. I'll show you why in a minute. But I think this is a very cool setup, and I'm very, very happy with it. A few things that I will change. Now, as far as the noise problem, you're not going to have, because I do things like those pads, and basically shove them along the side like that, and I put spoons, things like that along the edges, and that cuts down on that noise, and you don't hear them rattle at all. So anyway, the things that I'll put inside on this. Well, this, for cleaning, that would not work, not very well anyway, but it would if I had the pot sitting off, the lid off just a little bit. But I had another idea, and it's even more secure. The essential oils and things like that you can get for different scents, you can get those, and I just peeled the label off of it, and it's got a childproof top, and I can have plenty of dish soap for cleaning up things like that. Then you move along. The sporks, I fit along the side here, and if you push it down, you see it'll go without any problem. So what I'll do is show you the lids. I can put several things. As you can tell, I can put washcloths and things like that down inside, but really I don't have any room for food. So once that's on, I'll move that out of the way. And that will go down. I'm just having trouble with it because it's being videoed. And then that seals up on top. And there's my kit. Now you saw the room I have. I would pretty much do the same thing. I'm going to put the cloth in there, a couple sports, the wipes, and the detergent. And that's basically my mess kit, and that's the way it's going to stay. So now, instead of having a big pot like this one here, I have stepped down to a much smaller pot like this one here, and I have multiple, which I don't really need to explain the advantages of that. So I am very happy, very pleased with this one. And again, 4Dogs link will be down below. Like I said, it's a 1.8, a 1.1, and a 750 versus a single 4-quart. Anyway, some of the input that I wanted from you guys is what do you carry as far as your meals? So what I call my homemade MREs, I'm going to put a couple of them together out here on the counter, show them to you, maybe get some input, maybe give you some ideas, but I'm hoping to get some ideas back. Let me show you what I do. Okay guys, now these are some of the meal options. Now these are not the homemade MREs that I'll talk about, but basically I use Mountain House quite a bit. I love Mountain House. Almost all of theirs I like. The only ones I don't like are things that I wouldn't like no matter where I bought them from. So, Mountain House I do suggest to a lot of people because they pack down real light. They don't take that much room at all, and they're almost not even there. So Mountain House is great, and the fact that they come in their own pouch to cook in, and you get a lot of food for what's in that. So Mountain House is definitely a vital option, good way to go. Another one, MREs. MREs I'm pretty picky on, not too many of them that I like that much. I know some people say there's some they think are awesome, and yeah, some of them are. The chili mac, everybody loves the chili mac. This particular one, the beef roast, pretty good. But, the weight and everything, but of course, there are a lot of calories in here, everything you need, lots of other stuff. There are a lot of advantages to this. Depends on what your goals are and what it is that you're after. And I know I'm going to have a lot of comments down below. I know you can take these out and break them down. Military tells you take them out, break them down, saves a lot of weight. I understand that. That's fine. And I'm not saying don't use MREs. It's just not my choice. There are other things that I can do. So anyway, let me show you some of the meal ideas and some ideas for you. Now, of course, ramen noodles are great. Whatever flavors you might like. You can throw in things for a little bit of meat if you want to, such as summer sausage. You can actually toss it right into the noodles, slice a few pieces off, eat it, whatever. It doesn't really matter. So that's one thing as a little MRE to take with you. But that's not exactly a creative thing, I know, guys. Okay, now, when it's me and my wife, one of the things that I like to do, as I mentioned before, look for these bean packs. Now, it's over there where all the other beans are and everything, but this one comes with everything, including the seasoning already, and all you need is water. And this is more than enough for a couple people to eat. This would be something if you had, kids with you or whatever. And these taste great. Try them out. You'll love them, guys. I promise you'll like them. If you're willing to take something like, a can with you. Now, I make my own sauces and things like that, and I can do something like, in the little thing that my dish detergent comes in, I can take certain sauces with me, and I can spice up just regular old ranch style beans, and I can take these out of the can, put them in a bag, whatever. I can vacuum seal them up, and that's one option. Now stick with me, guys. I know all these are boring, but I wanted to knock out some of these ahead of time. Here's another one. Doesn't take much. Small can of tomato paste. Darn good chili. And it actually is. This is pretty good chili. Now it does need some hot sauce when you're done with it, in my opinion anyway, and a little bit of salt, a few seasonings, things like that. Now this was the seasoning option that I had in my other pack, and I'm going to put a picture up here. I've already ordered these, and basically I ordered a set of 7, so I'll be able to have 14 different seasonings. Now I don't plan on taking them all out. I only use a few seasonings, so I'll be able to do salt and pepper, cayenne. I'm going to do garlic powder, lemon pepper, and seasoned salt. Those are the things that I care about having out with me. Now there is one other one, and since that was an odd number, and it's one spice on each side. The other one that I'm probably going to have, and I'll explain to you in a little bit, is the butter. But we'll get to that in just a minute. So anyway, if you have the seasoning capability, hot sauce for example, this is not that bad. And this is a lot of food. So you have your chili, and you just need a little can of tomato paste. Does pretty good. Another option for you guys. Okay, some of the things that I have put together that I thought were pretty good in the past is, like, you can do ready rice. This requires nothing but water. Some of them that you look at, and different ones that I have used in the past, they do require things like milk and butter. This particular one, the Uncle Ben's, you can get them when they have that little cooks in 90 seconds on there. There are ways to cook it outside of the microwave, so don't worry about that. But you can cook this, and you don't have to have anything but water. Now you do that, toss in a little chicken breast, and that's a very, very good dinner. Feeds 2 without any problem, and that's including me, and I'm not a small guy, but it doesn't take up much room, not very heavy. Awesome little setup. Now as far as the ones that do require butter and milk, most of them say that butter is optional and the milk is required. Well, you can do pre-measurements and set things up. As you know, I do Ziploc bags a lot. I use those for things like this, and then I can vacuum seal anything I need to. But basically, you can make your butter if you have water for the recipes that do require, I'm sorry, milk, not butter. Ones that require milk, you can do something like this. So that works out pretty well too. Now, say you were doing one, see if I have one around here. Yeah, here we go. Now this requires, or they suggest butter. And I do like kind of a buttery taste on this particular one. So to get that buttery taste, you can get this. Now this, they say you can use it on potatoes and things like that. If you can't find it there, you'll find it over near the popcorn aisles, things like that. You can sprinkle butter on things. But you can get that buttery taste. And I wouldn't carry this big thing out there. What I'm going to do is put it in that little shaker that I was showing a few minutes ago, and that's going to give me that buttery taste. So there's that, and then there you can grab another pack of chicken. This in particular, I don't know how many times I've done it. This is very good with just some premium white meat chicken. And in fact, if I had not already promised my wife something for dinner tonight, this might be what I would throw together for her. This is not just good for camping, this is just good, period. So anyway, there's another one. Here's one, guys, red beans and rice. That's one where you really don't have to take anything at all. That would be good just by itself without anything needed, period. I don't like things that don't really go well together, so it depends on how you want to do things. A lot of these things, you know, you could use the Spam and all for. But if you look over in the tuna aisle, you'll see all the different tuna creations and things like that. So you could eat this, and then if you still had some sort of craving for something like fish or beef or chicken or whatever, I do eat these as just a snack sometimes, and they're awesome. It is the sweet and spicy one here, and you can get different ones. They come in a lot of different flavors. So like you could do lemon pepper tuna. Lemon pepper tuna would probably go pretty well with that. Well, we'll go with the chicken and broccoli, but there are some that they have that it would go well with. So what I try to do is I look at these prepackaged things, and they last for a very, very long time. This one's good until 2017. And you know, these that are sealed up in this here, they're usually good for quite a while. So if I can find it on here, it's 2000. This one I've had for a while. It's good until December of 2014. But you know, they usually do last a pretty good while anyway. And then of course the summer sausage, I could not even find the date on here. I looked a little while ago, and I think I just found it, March of 2015. So, you know, these little things of beef, if you need meat for something. So say you ate this, then you're out on the trail, pull out your knife and just start slicing you off pieces. That would do great if you know, fried it up for breakfast or something like that. I don't want to ramble on too much, guys, but I just wanted to, you know, get people thinking different. Just because, you know, you're trying to be a survivalist or trying to do all these things, or you're a camper, that you don't have to stick to the old, you know, standbys. Step out of the box a little bit and look at other options. These things are great, and they pack up wonderful. They don't take up much room, and you can make a lot of people jealous out by the campfire with these. Well, thanks for listening to me ramble on about this, guys. I hope, you know, this gives you some ideas. I would love to get some input back from you on some things I might not be thinking about. And, you know, I just curious what you guys think. So, please leave comments, and don't forget to come see me in chat, abletosurvive.com. I'm usually in there all day, and I'm there most every evening, and we're starting to get a little bit of a crowd. So check it out, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, I'll be back with another video real soon.